Welcome to Biz Life Global, where we talk about global business and life in hopes that you'll find some hints that will help you enrich your business and life. Today I'm going to talk about how an everyday illusion nearly killed me. And if you stick around to the end, I'll tell you about why I ended up madder at the legal system than I was at the person who nearly killed me. Have you ever heard the phrase, "you can't see what you don't know"? Our brains are pattern recognition devices. It takes repetition and training to be able to recognize patterns. That's why we teach toddlers how to recognize patterns using color and shape sorting toys. Edward de Bono discusses the brain's pattern recognition function and how we can miss novel concepts in his book, 6 Thinking Hats. But what happens when we see something for which we don't already have an established pattern recognition pathway? How do our brains make sense of that? Unless it's perceived as a threat, the most common thing that our brain does is just ignore it. The same thing happens to things that are overly familiar. Unless it is germane or important to the task at hand, our brain just usually filters those things out. We don't actively see them. We may look at them, but we don't actually see them. Our brains relegate the totally unfamiliar and the overly familiar to the background of inattention. This can also happen when our brain is paying close attention to something, and something else enters our field of view that doesn't fit the overall pattern of the thing we're paying attention to. Our brain filters it out. We may look at it, but we don't see it. I was a victim of this illusion when I was hit by a car as I was crossing an intersection, a T-intersection of a small street and a main street that I was riding along. As I came up to the intersection, I looked at the driver. The driver looked at me. Our eyes met. There's a photo of the intersection right here. As you can see, the tomade, which is what's written on the street in letters 4 feet tall, and the white line indicate that's the equivalent of a stop sign in Japanese. It tells the driver that the driver must stop before they enter the intersection. Since the driver legally had to stop, and since she had seen me, we locked eyes before she entered the intersection, I assumed that she would stop. So I was surprised when 3/4 of the way through the intersection, I was knocked off my bike into oncoming traffic. She hit my bike so hard that the back tire was bent at a 30-degree angle. The driver, who had locked eyes with me, claimed she never saw me. Chabris says this happens to motorcyclists and bicyclists all the time. Drivers aren't looking for motorcycles and bicycles, and so they don't see them. Chabris argues that looking is necessary for seeing. You can't possibly see something if you don't look at it. But looking is not sufficient for seeing. In other words, looking doesn't guarantee that we will actually see it and notice it. The driver looked right at me, but obviously never saw me. This illusion of attention isn't limited just to vision. We often miss the unexpected. We miss unexpected opportunities as well as risks. In business and in life, we very often miss the risks and the opportunities that are right in front of us. Or we may interpret a pattern as a risk when it's actually an opportunity. Or it might be both a risk and an opportunity. The meaning I took from Chabris's book is have the courage to be less certain. Maybe the driver who locked eyes with me really didn't see me. I should be less certain that she did. Allowing ourselves to be less certain can reduce our blood pressure when people don't see the same things that we do. If we're less certain and more observant, we may be able to do the least common thing that Bono describes. We might be able to recognize that something is unique in our experience and create a new pattern for it. We can create real value by seeing a need or an opportunity that other people miss because they don't have the courage to be less certain about what they see and experience. If this video has given you some hints that you can use in your business or personal life, please hit the like button. It will help other people find the video, and perhaps they can get value from it too. Oh, I promised you that I would tell you why I ended up madder at the legal system than at the person who hit me. The adjudicator, as we were looking to see who was going to pay what, said that the driver's insurance should only pay 90% of my medical bills and the cost to replace my bike. The other 10% I had to pay, because if I hadn't gotten out of bed that day, there wouldn't have been an accident. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you back here soon. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and please share this video.